Yeah, everybody doing? I'm sure you guys have seen this engine before. Or you have it in a lot of different cars. Either Volkswagens, Audis have them. I think I've seen them in Volvos too. They're pretty good engines. The TFSI ones, belt-driven one. One of these things, one of the issues these guys have are water pumps. The water pumps on these are belt-driven, unlike the traditional serpentine belt-driven ones or timing chain-driven ones. And this is what it looks like. There's where the belt goes. And these things have the thermostat in them. They're all one unit. They're a little scary for most people. Most people don't like working on these kind of cars, but this one isn't really bad. The intake manifold has to come off. Of course, you got to pull the air filter housing stuff off. Take off the fuel line right there, and you might have to replace it because some of these you can't reuse them. And then it goes here. It's got 5 bolts that hold it in place. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this little piece goes right in here. And then here's the belt. The belt slides off. Now, a lot of guys, what they do is they cheat and they don't change that belt. I don't recommend that. That's not cool. You should do this job right. It's not that difficult. What you got to do, though, is you got to put a ratchet or something on the crankshaft so that the engine don't turn. This little bolt right here is reverse thread, left thread, so you have to go to the right, to loosen it. It's the opposite. It comes out with the whole gear, and the little belt comes out. That's the old belt. And then you put the gear back in with the new belt, put the new bolt in, tighten it to the right foot-pounds, and you're good. It's not a big deal. Just remember, guys forget that that's a reverse thread. It's a left-hand thread. So you got to remember that. And also, one real important thing, when you pull the manifold off, these cars, tend to have carbon issues, and it's well documented, it's well known. When you pull this manifold off, go in there and clean the intake valves. See all that nasty stuff on there? All that carbon? This guy didn't want to do it. He didn't have the money, he didn't want to do it. And when we try to, do it for a minimal amount of money, and he just did not want to do it. What that's going to do is it's going to spear into the runners and your intake manifold, which is right here, which it's already doing, you can see. It's going to clog up these things. You're going to get check engine lights. You're going to get misfires, especially in the morning. Misfires on this type of an issue tend to show themselves more in the morning. You can see all the valves are caked in carbon. This is something you got to do every 30 or 40,000 miles, and the car runs like brand new afterwards. It takes an hour or so to go in there and clean it up. It's almost like being a dentist. You got to pull these little things out here and go in there and close the valves and clean them up. But it's worth doing it. The engine will run like brand new, and it's really a maintenance, considered a maintenance nowadays. But anyways, getting back to this water pump, you're going to take off you're going to disconnect the sensor that goes here. You're going to take off the oil filter, take off the fuel line. There's a bracket that's right here that goes down here to support the bottom of the manifold. Take that off. You can undo this turbo boot, and there's 2 bolts down here that you undo so you can pull it down away from the throttle. And it comes out, and now once all that comes off, it's all wide open. You can kind of see the pump, and it's not that difficult. Now when you go to put it on, make sure you get this guy started in here, and then center the pins. The pins are right here. There's holes for centering pins that are on the block. And then you slip the belt on, and then torque it to the specified torque and tighten it up, and then start putting things back together. This has got to be one of the most expensive water pump jobs you ever do. I think they're like $1,400 to do something like this. But you could do it yourself. If you're mechanically inclined, I don't do videos for just anybody. These are for guys that are in the field that I need short videos to give them a little refresher on some of these things. This is really designed for guys that are professional mechanics and are certified. But if you're mechanically inclined, if you've been doing this for a while, if you trust your skills and you have the right tools to do this, doesn't require anything real special or anything, I don't see why you couldn't do it. It's not that difficult. Just be very careful. When you separate these things, and also here's something here. Be real careful with this. When you pull the air filter housing out, they put this right up against it so that you'll break it. You break that, you got to buy a whole new hose assembly. So just be real careful with stuff. They always have little booby traps and things like that. But otherwise, you're not going to need more than a torque set. And that's really about it. Basic tools, and you'll be all right. So anyways, save yourself some money if you can, and have a great Labor Day weekend, and take care of yourselves and each other. Later.